I don't have a list of poor things that have happened to me throughout my life because the list would be far too long. And quite frankly, I would have run out of space. But if I had a list, this would be very near the top of the list. Playing this 1v1 last week. Call me Subutai, I think is someone's Smurf nick. Because it's ranked around 1900 or 2K. And it doesn't have that many games. But anyways. For those that don't know, 2K is around 150th, 200th in the world. And I get Franks against Koreans. And I'm loving life. Because Franks is one of the best 1v1 civs. Franks is one of my favorite civilizations. Farm bonus, night bonus, forge bonus, cheap castles. Yes. Like, I really wanted to have a nice day. This is exactly what was going to give me that nice day. Great way to start it off, getting Franks on Arabia. And against Koreans, too, a civ that can be really frustrating to play against, and they are stronger now. But I wouldn't say that their list of bonuses is quite as long as Franks. And I didn't know what I was about to go through. So I've already, found most of my sheep and my cows, so I'm scouting out. Gonna get a bit greedy here because I'm feeling like it. I'm feeling good. I'm going to push in my deer. The plan here is to go 20 pop scouts. I've seen nothing yet that makes me want to deviate from it because we're 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. So just watch this, okay? Just watch what happens. I see boar moving. Why is boar moving? Huh. Is he stealing my... So he failed with the first attempt. But he will try and steal this boar. Well, he has already walled in this villager to shoot this boar so it dies out here. I'm boarless. People, I'm boarless. It's one thing to lose 340 food. It's another thing to lose both boars. Game plan ruined. Day ruined. Week ruined. Month ruined. And this was early 2021. Year ruined. This could have set me off. And look at my deer. My precious deer. Everything's going wrong. Someone can do the math on this. Look at me desperately try and push the deer in towards my town center. Look, don't let him hit it. Don't let him hit it. Don't let him hit it. Please, please, please. Don't let him hit it. Take it to the town center. No. Oh, God, man. Brutal. Just brutal. Now, this Call Me Subutai guy. Yeah, that's actually what I said, brutal. I forget what I had said. I think I was a little frustrated this time. He's just sorry. Which, oh, yeah. Sorry I did this horrible thing to you. Even though I enjoyed doing it. Jeez. Okay, let me just pause and talk about my emotions here. I had never experienced anything quite this bad in a game. Like, I've been lamed. I've lost villagers. I've lost a boar and 2 sheep. But I've never lost one boar and then had the other one decaying out here. And at this point, it's already decayed down to 280 food. So this is where, and I have a lot to say about this, right? Because this is a pretty complicated game. This is where I had to adapt in a situation I've never encountered before. So initially, I was going to have 3 on wood. So I switched 4 over to wood so I could afford a mill here. And so I could afford a mill here. Because I feel like it's still worth it. There's still a couple hundred food out here. And then I lose my freaking scout to the enemy town center. Like, again, this would be high up on the list of poor things to happen to me. I say 11 because I genuinely at this point chuckled and said, as if it could have been any worse. And now this is where I tried to get in his head a little bit. I said, pressure is on if you don't win now. And he says, indeed. You should be ashamed, mate. When I say mate, I mean... Actually, I thought it was Carbo, who's an Argentinian player. I still don't know who this person is. But he says, ashamed for life and nop. All right, so... I've not confirmed who this user is. But let's look at his situation. And he's actually scouted most of his base. He's still got a boar back here to work with. His map is pretty good if he gets some walls up. And so he, who gets housed, probably spent too much time stealing my resources and forgot about the houses. He has some decisions to make. So, when you're ahead, I'm trying to think about how to explain this. When you're ahead, you can be more greedy on either side of the spectrum. So let's just use booming, which is eco, and aggression, which is non-eco, right? So you can commit to all-in aggression in his position because he's already ahead. It's likely it's going to work that much more, right? He can commit to just a boom here, so he could full wall his base and just boom. It's likely that's going to work so much more because of the fact that I'm behind. And so any aggression I can send his way is going to be later. So he kind of just needs to commit to something. In my eyes, to get a lead, and I know this is going to look really bad, but in order to stay alive in this game, I felt that I needed to kind of pick one, but not overcommit. So let's use aggression as an example. If I were to be aggressive, I'd want to make a few units, but the rest I'd want to focus on eco. Or if I wanted to go the other end of the spectrum, I could go, like, I guess, all in aggression with no eco. So anyways, what I ended up doing here was full walling my base just to stay safe. I have no scouting. I have no clue what he's going to do. And I notice I don't have a barracks at this point. I wanted to wait to make farms until the Frank bonus kicked in, so I'd get horse color for free, and adapt from here. So I kind of expected that he would go for man-at-arm tower, because it would be the best way to go all in aggression against me. I was hoping he was going for man-at-arm tower, because if he goes fast castle, there's no way I can compete with him, having done this. I actually had no clue there was a hole here, which is pretty bad, actually. I'm just now seeing it. I have not looked at the wreck yet, so I pulled these villagers probably to farm, if I recall. We're both in feudal age. There's the militia, so yeah, I'm thinking, oh boy, he's going to tower. All right, so we focus on farms. We pre-tower the stone. I don't even think I needed a pre-tower, but we go to the stone eventually and then just play defense from here and see what happens. Now, having played this, I was very surprised at how little pressure there was. Like, he goes militia into a defensive spear. So I think he's expecting, like, sneaky scouts or something from me. I guess it's because he hasn't been able to scout, and he's looking around now. But he invested in the militia that are just attacking palisade walls. And I'm free-walled, or I'm going to be fully walled behind this, so I'm doing pretty good. Economically, I wouldn't say that I'm ahead, but I at least started farming earlier than him. He sees the towers there, and so I'm actually feeling like this might be possible for me, but I still wasn't happy with just farming at this point because it takes a lot of time to bring in the wood. So I think at some point I start switching over to gold so I could buy some res. I guess it's fortunate I ended up walling this because that was not fully walled. And yeah, he's just running around with this scout. I didn't have any clue what he was doing at home. He's really paranoid, isn't he? Look at him getting town watch even. Wait a second. Wait a second. This just dawned on me, and this is a typical caster thing to try and spin a narrative. But do you think that he's stressed and anxious because if he loses this? I mean, as I said, you should be ashamed, or you should be embarrassed if you lose this now. Do you think that's why he's freaking out so much? I don't know. Maybe he got pop capped and I missed it. Maybe he got town watch because he couldn't create villas because he needed houses. But, like, I would love for that to be the case. So here I quickly gate in and palisade his scout so I can kill it. Of course, I look away when I have a quick wall micro nerd move. But it was impressive. Trust me on that. And I haven't seen anything to really be scared of right now. I've got so much on food. I've got great food income with Franks. And there's an archer. And he does not have fletching, so I'm just going to take my time here and place a tower. Pretty happy with this situation, but also pretty... I'm well aware of the fact it's going to be rough to get into this game when it comes to military. Man, the opposition is 500 stone. My goodness. But yeah, anyways, I don't have a barracks yet. So at some point, if I want to make knights, I need a barracks, I need a stable, and then I need the knights, and that's a lot of wood. I don't want to spend on that right now. So I'm dropping a market over here. I'm just not planning on making a barracks, not planning on making a stable for a bit. And he's just got 2 archers and 3 militia. And quite honestly, the follow-up's just not great. I think I played this guy once or twice before. He is 200 elo lower than me. I had 2k1 and he's around 900. But I think he might be the type of guy who gets ahead with cheeky little moves early. And then in this instance, I feel like he would have been better off never making the militia, never making the archers. Then his economy would probably be on par with mine, if not greater. And then he could go up to the next stage. But it's still not the end of the world for him now. He's still got the stone for an eventual castle. And I'm just making walls and macroing. Market blacksmith, I will soon go up to the next age. And I'm going double mining camp because this is not going to be a clean, boomy game anymore. I'm really terrified I'm going to get castle dropped at some point. I don't have any military. I needed to do something to have control in this game. So he's at 600 food. Not too bad. But I have survived somehow. He has wheelbarrow. I do not. But there I go to the castle age. What is the plan for T90 official? He's walled the left. Kind of walled the right. This area is exposed because he's been collecting the deer. And there he goes on the way to the next stage. Actually, I want to look at his TC idle time. Yeah, look at this. So for 1 minute and 54 seconds, he had idle TC. I had 14-second idle time. So he's behind 6 villagers because of this much TC idle time. And because he researched wheelbarrow, which takes about the time it would take to create 3 villagers. So yeah, that's part of the game, right? Not having idle TC time. I'm disappointed I had 14 seconds. But 154, very messy stuff from him. And I'm happy to see it. And here I go with 2 villagers. Now, he's Koreans, and Korean villagers have extra line of sight. And he researched Town Watch, something that I wouldn't be able to know. There's no way. You can't look at the mill and see a scout on top or whatever would indicate Town Watch. So he says 11 because I rewalled behind here. I'm not really sure why I did that, to be honest, and I say yes. And so I'm dropping an outpost here, and what I wanted to do was go into a boom, but I wanted to pressure him prior to that. So I figured he'd have walls. He's overchopped here, but I didn't think knights would do much. So I thought one way to counter war wagons, if it eventually comes, is to get some monks out, and then hopefully I can just be aggressive, and behind that, expand my eco. And so I'll add a TC first thing. Now, he sees this TC, so he might just be thinking that I'm booming. And he's not given any indication that he thinks I'm over here with any buildings. Here's my siege workshop. Now, if you watch my resources over the next couple minutes, I apologize. I'm going to sell my hard-earned food so frequently. Like selling food, buying wood, selling stone. I mean, I'm tapping that market up just so I can make mangonels ASAP, get the monastery ASAP, make monks ASAP. Yeah, he drops a castle. He'll drop a TC. And again, TC idle time, TC idle time, TC idle time. Those things add up. Doesn't seem to know I'm over here. And I have absolutely no idea what his base looks like. This is all I've seen. So I was happy to see the wood line. Yeah, I was expecting a castle drop. I think it would have been an interesting situation if he just waltzed forward and dropped the castle here. Because I have absolutely nothing to stop that. If he runs forward and drops the castle here, I probably lose some villagers, but at the very least, I lose access to 2 gold, a stone, and my TC. So thankfully, he didn't do that. And here I come with my little push, and I'm already ahead in villagers. And I was feeling pretty good about the situation because I am Frank, so the farm bonuses come in for free. And once I killed 3 villagers here, I was thinking, oh boy, you better be ashamed. What were his exact words? Ashamed for life. Ashamed for life. Now, this is awkward for him. He has fully upgraded war wagons. And so here he comes with the war wagons. Now, war wagons have 6 range and are very tanky with a lot of attack, but monks have 9 range. So I'm thinking, if I convert a few, I don't need to convert all of them, but if you convert the numbers early on, we'll be good. And that's essentially 2 kills. He just deleted one. Deleting one was the smart move, because then his militia... This is embarrassing. Not sure what else I could have really done here except add spears or more monks. But yeah, his Drush finally killing something. Taking out a monk into Mangonel. But all the while, I think he's really focused on this. TC idle time created for him, and my TC's been pumping for the most part the entire time. 54 villagers versus 34. I called my mom after this game. I said, Mom, you'll never guess what happened. Oh, I just lost a monk to a 1 HP militia? That was not what I told my mom. You know what? You ruined it. Subutai. You ruined it. 3 TCs for him. The 3 town centers, lots of war wagons. And boom, boom, boom. I'm about to be on 3. And a defensive castle as well. So upon reviewing this now, am surprised I'm so far ahead in eco. I mean, I eventually saw the conclusion of the game, but I'm really shocked that I've been able to get this stage. And I think it comes back to what I said earlier. I was able to play with an eco approach and minimal defense, even though it was a lot of walling. And he probably should have committed to either like super fast aggression, so towers and man-at-arms, instead of just militia and a late archer. Or he should have gone straight Castle Age into a boom or Castle Age into a castle. But the Monk Siege play has really worked out for me at this stage, and he still can snowball me. He's one of the best snowball civilizations. If I were him, I would just avoid this area for now. I would send the war wagons forward, and there he goes. And then he's got the gold to buy more stone. He has 350 stone already. So maybe consider coming forward with villagers to drop a castle. Drop a castle here. Still a good spot. Even here, right? There's a gold and a stone there. But 69 villagers. Nice. We're some pleb caster. I'm awful with monk micro, by the way. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but some people control group them. So you do control 1, control 2, control 3, and then you press 1, 2, 3, and you can cycle through the monks. I only use 3 control groups. Like, so many high-level players use like 6 control groups. I don't know how. I just never really taught myself because I'm too lazy. So I'll use 1 for an army, 2 for an army, and then 3 for military buildings normally. So let's say I'm going stables. At this point, if I start adding stables, which I'm not, then I would, I think it was his stable. Yeah, every time I press 3, it controls that. But yeah, I've seen MBL, for example. He has the same mouse I have, which has 12 numbers on the side of the mouse. And if he has 12 monks, it's 1 through 12 on the monks. And then boom, 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 boom. Like, I can't do that for the life of me. I accidentally press these buttons. How am I supposed to do it when I'm actually trying? I have no control with my thumb. Microed with the monk there. How many relics do I have in these monasteries? 2 monasteries. Will he be ashamed for life? And does he see this castle? Now, I'm not sure if this is a good play. But I'm placing this castle here because I like the control I have going. And because I see that he has a lot of resources underneath this. And I felt like this would be a good hill to Trebor from if I go Imp. I am close to clicking up to the Imperial Age. And so overall, I'm pretty happy with the situation. I think he just noticed this. He went forward to hit me. There's a reason I placed a defensive castle next to all these resources. Yeah, now he's just bought some stone, and now he's going to place a castle here to try and deny mine. Which I saw, but I wasn't really worried about. And maybe I made too many monks. I also did get the pikeman upgrade in case you wanted to go for light cav. But yeah, anyways. And it is really interesting to see the amount of statistics down here. Let's go over to the KD. Yeah, this is the total KD. Not many kills in this game. But my castle's denied. I lose the villagers. Rip for me. But I figure, well, there is one way to get it up. Send more villagers. I think I start sending the villagers now. I was really late to wheelbarrow. That's been a problem for me recently. 92 villagers, still no wheelbarrow is pretty pathetic. That's Nikov levels. Yeah, the plan here was still to stick with this type of like a tiny push, or I guess a snowball push, and not go for stable units. Because I'm really worried about war wagon help. So I just make my own halberdier And with the monks, it's good against the war wagons. If I get a lead, and I dropped a castle here as well, thinking that he might pressure. I was basically able to read him like a book ever since his little lame. But yeah, here come the villagers with wheelbarrow. They run a bit faster. That's nice. They're going to go to finish that castle. I'll show you a nifty trick here in a second. But I wanted to make sure the war wagons wouldn't hit me. So I have enough monks to convert every single war wagon. In the end, I convert 2. 3. But I also kill all the light cav. Monks are in here to heal. And the war wagons, all but one are gone. Yeah, so the best thing you can do in this situation is sacrifice army. So I'm going to send my army here, and I'm not hoping to lose them, but I'm just distracting the fire. If I have to lose them, so be it. And so he would have to micro his castle and all the villagers, which is really awkward to click. He's doing it with the war wagon. But I arrived to the Imperial Age, and I just finished the castle. And so he's in a rough spot where he's still really worried about this monk pike thing. And I'm now in the Imperial Age to make trebuchets. So he's done a pretty good job. He fell behind at the start of castle. The start of Castle Age is really where I extended my lead. But he's done a good job since then. Activity with the war wagons, investing in the light cav. I don't hate any of these moves. I probably wouldn't have gone for the light cav because it would delay my imp time. But yeah, he's now thinking of maybe ramming down this castle as I'm going to drop another one. 84 villagers versus 103. And now my logic is, well, first off, I should never be in this position. So I'm happy. I'm pleased. But go into Halberdier. Wait till I get about 50 farmers. Bank up that food and switch right into Paladin. Like, don't even engage with Cavalier. Because in an ideal world, the only time I switch, as he tells me, oh yeah, he tells me, he says the Treb. Because he thinks this castle's going to take out my Treb. And I repair the Treb. I pack it up to move it back. All as I take a pretty decent fight here. I say thank you, and I didn't mean any disrespect by this. I meant genuinely, like, thanks, bro. This is a nice lamer. And now my Treb's going to survive. But yeah, anyways, back to my point. I think that Halberdier is going to work for me for quite some time here, because he's still not an imp. And he says 11. And he has so many villagers that would want to be here, right? He's villagers inside the castle still. He says, thought you wouldn't save it anyways. 11. Yeah. I have to say, like, some people get really bent out of shape when it comes to lamers. This guy was the most respectful lamer I've ever played against. Like, chatting me up. Maybe felt like because I'm a couple hundred elo higher, or because I was Franks versus Koreans, he needed an edge. You know, I still don't like it in rated games, but I've been doing it more and more myself in some situations with certain civs. Ever since that Goth meta evolved with the Forward Villager, it's been happening. So I have my own war wagons here. The Halberdiers are doing well against the war wagons. Happy to chill underneath his TC and get some kills and harass, because I don't need these units too much longer. Here, you'll see why I'm a caster and not a player playing in tournaments, because I have a massive lead. I've doubled the pop, and still... Yo, bro. Hello? Hello? They're just capped rams, man. Go cast a game. You suck. Sorry, I get aggressive sometimes. I lost 2 Trebs. Yeah. I thought I'd have more farmers than this at this stage. So I am surprised by that, but I've got a lot of military. 38. I mean, 38 sounds like a lot when it's verse 8. And he will be an imp soon, and he's already researched crossbow, so he's definitely thinking of going into Arbalest, which is his best move against Halberdier. Again, you go into Halb, you take map control, you pressure with siege. In closer games, it's not going to be all that possible, because sometimes you need the Cavalier, you need to use the Cavalier earlier, but I was feeling good about this position, because I was going to have an eventual transition. Now, this is where you might start to see some T90 farms. I was getting some relics. I had 2 forward. And, yeah, I just made a monastery here so I can get the others. And thank you for the war wagons, call me Subutai, because these war wagons stood underneath these town centers for ages. This blue kept freaking me out. I kept thinking, I would go to this point of the map thinking that he'd be attacking me. I'm going to take this gold here. Clicking Cavalier, and he says, why so high score? And it's because I have a high population, man. I said 200 pop, not to lie. I'm not the legend of the liar. I said 200 pop because I was about to be, all right? I was just seeing the future. And he says, me too, which I knew that was a lie. The score has told me that that's a lie. Again, he seems like a pretty funny guy, in all honesty. He even said sorry after he stole the boar. You can say sorry after you do awful things, right? So, I haven't researched any armor upgrades in my upcoming cav. If I were to replay this, I would hope to have more farm eco at this stage. Oh, looks like I just added a bunch of farms. Let's see if there's any T90 farms. Oh, yeah. Oh, what is this? What is this crap? What? They have to walk. Okay, the rest aren't so bad. I mean, what? Farms around a mining camp. Okay, there's a mill there. All right, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I've had worse, all right? I've had worse. Actually, I had to back up with the trebuchet. And this is why that paladin switch probably could have happened a bit earlier. Because I really should be swooping in with 30 paladins. Boom, right now. And he's starting to push back a little bit. Now, granted, I've expanded to extra golds and extra stones. I don't really need this area of the map. But I actually began to panic here. Thinking, oh god, have I thrown this? Or have I thrown this? Now I should be ashamed. I'm actually curious. Let's go back to TC idle time. Actually, at this point, it doesn't matter too much, right? Because we shouldn't be creating as many villagers at this stage. But yeah, I was so nervous that I started to accept that I was going to lose these castles. And I just didn't want to lose this area. So I just dropped a castle here. And I'm going to take that stone as well. And I'm going to take all of these monks back to my base. I have one relic there. I have two on the way back. I have another one somewhere else. I don't know. But yeah, he's got Arbs with full upgrades after chemistry's in. And he's going to go into Halb. So Arb and Halberdier is a very, very, very strong comp. The thing about that is you need a lot of numbers. So you need to have something like... Well, if you're up against Paladin, you need to have double the army numbers. 30 to 40 Halbs in front. 30 to 40 Arbs behind. 80 military versus 40 Paladins. And then suddenly you're good. Because the struggle there, too, is you need to snowball a push. So at this point, he's really struggled the entire game to force me to fight at my base. I've been able to avoid it with a couple walls and just counter in some way, shape, or form. And so the only way I was going to throw this game is if I allowed him to snowball and get a forward castle, follow it up with trebs. So I send the Paladins into his eco. I send the Paladins into his eco. I've got more Paladins here. And it took a bit. And he says, GG, 1. He says, sorry for that. 1-1-1. So he's laughing. And we talked more after that, all right? I'm not streaming this, but if I was streaming this, I would salute this guy and say respect. Because it is just a game. And while certain ways that people play the game can be really frustrating and really tilting, if you're respectful like that, you know, I can't really say too much. I had Franks, he had Koreans, maybe he was on a losing streak, or maybe he just realized how good Franks can be with my amazing farms. And it's also, it's not one of my more impressive victories, truthfully, because his follow-up could have been much stronger than that. But it is easily the heaviest I've been lamed. Losing one boar, the other boar rotting, all of my deer rotting, and then losing my scout to his TC. It was as disastrous a start as possible. And so my closing message to call me Subutai, if you end up watching this later, is you don't need to be ashamed for life, all right? It seems like you're a pretty good person. Keep playing the game. But if you play me again, you're dead, okay? I will kill all of your food. It's only fair. Is that really all that happened in this game? 6 conversions, but 76, 72 KD? I was a boomer, I guess. More food, more wood, more stone, more gold collected. Of course, if the Paladins would have had their way, I would have had 100 more kills in a second. Yeah, the relics. I'm always upset if, at the end, I don't have all the relics in my possession in a monastery. It's technically, according to the game, it's not in my possession, but like the fact that, yeah, the fact that these two guys haven't brought the relics back to the monastery yet really ruins my satisfaction of this game. Like, I would have so much more satisfaction if I went back and it said 4 relics, because it makes it seem like I have so much more control. But anyways, what question do I want to ask of you guys this time? I don't want to ask your opinion of laming, because I've done that before, and people are pretty split on this in YouTube comments. A lot of people say it's part of the game, play it. Other people say, well, when the game was developed 21 years ago, no one ever expected that they would be good enough to steal these things, which is fair. I guess. I don't know what to ask you guys. I'll say this. If you have thoughts on the game, thoughts on the laming, or thoughts on the recent content, then just send it my way, all right? That's all I really have. I didn't write anything down. Thank you for watching. I'm really happy that this didn't turn into another video where I got smashed by this lame and I was able to get the comeback. Oh, wait, question. And this would be good too because it's specific to YouTube, and people on YouTube are very much used to my casting. I'm thinking in January, February, there will be 1 day a week where I stream my 1v1 gameplay. Would you be down to watch it 1 day a week? It wouldn't be an extreme amount. I know people like my casting and the community feel. And then B, would people on YouTube be interested in having those things uploaded in the event it was a good game? Let me know. I have a lot. It's like I assigned some homework assignment for you guys, and I have to review all this homework later. But yeah, I've got to stop. I just spent 8 hours recording YouTube videos. I'm going to have a beer. Have a wonderful night.